Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Nothing to Play podcast, a mediocre podcast about video games, movies, and hand jobs. As always, it's your boy, Just in Time Carter, and this week we got returning guest on the podcast. I'm going to call him, after he got stuck up in Pine Top, I'm going to call him Edward Snowden, Matt Martin.
Fresh from federal prison.
Yeah. Prisoner number 00517604.
42069.
Little X, big X, little X, 420, no scope, little X, big X, little X.
Hi, I'm back again.
He's back.
By not popular request.
Yeah. And it's a very special episode because it marks the end of No Nut November.
And now it's, I guess it's just December.
Now it's, Don't Kiss Your Sister December.
Well, that's pretty easy. I mean, you don't have a sister.
I know. I have to kiss other people's sisters.
No, you're not supposed to do that.
How have you been, bud?
I've been good. It's been a little bit of a lull in the card game since we got back from Indiecade. But we recently got a build together for a tournament that we've been wanting to do. PJ, my business partner, has been super hardcore all about getting some tournament rules together so that way we can actually play tournaments and kind of get some stuff started in the local game stores and the comic book shops and all that. So the most recent build we did was just trying to make cards more readable, and we changed the format around, but so we did that and we had the tournament. The main things that we did for it is we just wanted to make the game move a little bit faster, so there was less rounds, and we changed around some of the healing between levels and a lot of the technical stuff that nobody's gonna fucking understand, so I'll just skip over that. But tournament went really well. We had a bunch of people who RSVP'd, and like every single board game night you've ever tried to throw together, only one person showed up. So so me and Jess ended up playing together as well as this new guy who showed up, and he has never played the game at all. Like, he's not even one of our regular playtesters, but he ended up showing up randomly, reading the rules right on time, right as soon as the tournament was about to start. And we were like, okay, well, me and Jess will just play. So first game, he did all right. Like, we ended up tying the boss and then the heroes. And the way that tournament rules work is rather than a bracket, you just rotate. So whoever was playing boss plays one of the heroes, and then one of the heroes plays boss. And the way that we were playing was 2v1. So we were rotating through, and the guy like gradually started stomping everyone. He just started getting really good, and he was the most quiet guy we've ever play tested with, but he was just getting subconsciously all the combinations of cards he could use, and that's always a cool thing to see. Just people just getting the game, especially whenever it's something as complicated as boss battle sometimes is.
Dude, sounds awesome though. I'm glad that the turnout was super good and that tournament went really well.
Yeah, it was just the 3 rounds that we played, but even then we had some people who were like, last minute, it drew some attention, and they were like, oh, what's this game? And they had a group of 4 people, so it worked out. So we had another group of people just playing a casual game as well. So I think that's probably the best thing that we probably could have had just for a first tournament. Like, yeah, it was only one person who really showed up, but we ended up getting 3 games out of it, plus that other group of random people. And even though, like, we had some of the newbies who played on the other casual game who weren't into it, We always normally get at least one or two people who are really, really liking the game, and we could tell that we could probably count on them to play the game some more. So, probably the best outcome we probably could have had. And then hopefully for the next one, we'll end up doing a more official card game location or something along those lines. Maybe comic book shop.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me that you're actually going to be showing your game not too far in the future in Portland at one of the game festivals there.
Yeah, so over the course... over...
Oh no, it's so dark in here now.
Justin can fix that in post.
But I won't.
So the game festival, or the game convention that we're going to be doing in May, which is whenever our Kickstarter is projected to be, smack dab in the middle of that, we're going to be going to Burning Cat, which is put on by the Exploding Kittens people, who me and PJ have had random sporadic interactions with over the course of going to different conventions. PJ ran into them at IndieCade a few years back, and then we made it a habit of trying to see them at Gen Con this year. And we showed them the game, and they were like, well, how does this fit in with Exploding Kittens? And I'm like, oh no, we're not looking for a publisher anymore with you guys. We just kind of want to show you the game. So, they have a general knowledge of who we are, and then we also ran into one of them whenever we were at IndieCade, which was also pretty cool. Just most recent IndieCade. But we'll have a booth, and our good friends Alex and Emily will be helping us out with running the booth. At least that's what I assume. And yeah, it's kind of surreal just actually having a booth for the game.
Dude, I was like, that's what's up. And last night we got ramen and ice cream.
And booze.
And lots of booze.
Well, yeah, all the booze. Oh, go ahead.
What?
Nothing. I was also going to say, even sooner than the Burning Cat stuff, this Thursday, me, PJ, and Jess are all driving down to... Oh, I was wondering what that was. We're all driving down to Tucson to go talk with the Tucson IDGA people.
I didn't even know there was an IDGA in Tucson.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, it's surprising to me as well. It's even more surprising that they're more active than the Phoenix IDGA group, which I don't even know how many people go to those events anymore.
I was like, that does not surprise me.
Yeah, they were saying that they have at least normally 15 members on average going to their monthly meetings, and I was like, oh, cool. And I've been posting the art on the Phoenix IDGA group for the card game, and the guy who runs the Tucson one was like, oh yeah, tell me about your card game. And so we kind of got a little meeting put together, and they're going to play test the game, and so we'll get a lot of play tests whenever we're down there. We'll kind of talk about stuff, and we're trying to figure out what we want to talk about, but the big question that we always get is how we come up with making decks, not in terms of your classic Magic the Gathering sort of how do you build a deck from a collectible card game standpoint, but how do we come up with heroes and bosses, and what's the kind of thought process on actually getting those made. That's it.
Is that why you were is that why you were doing the oh no, is because you realized that was coming up sooner than you expected?
No, I don't. I think it'll be pretty casual. I'm pretty shit at talking in public, and I would always like to do a talk, but I'm pretty sure I would just stumble and fumble over my words the entire time I was up there. So It's a good thing I've got PJ.
I was like, man, if only I'd taken a public speaking class in college.
Man, if only I was good at my public speaking class in college.
Oh, man. Dude.
I was going to say, I took 2 reading literacy classes, too, and I failed both of them, so I just can't get through books.
Yeah, I was like, that's just because you didn't read the books or do the homework. Which involved reading the books.
I mean, it's pretty tough whenever the Spark Notes doesn't cover everything.
I was like, do you even remember what the 3 books we had to read for that class were?
I don't.
Do you remember one of them?
I don't, isn't it The One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? I think that's the only one I remember.
That was one of them.
Okay, well, that's the only one I remember.
Yeah, it was, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Fahrenheit 451, and A Raisin in the Sun.
Oh, I definitely didn't read that one. I have no idea what that one's about. I know that I've read Fahrenheit 451, I think in high school. So, and by read it, I mean I probably didn't read it either.
And then because we read those 3, and then our final project was we had to pick a book from the list or whatever of books that were made into movies, read the book, watch the movie, and then do a presentation about the differences between the 2.
And I was probably so far behind at that point that I probably was like, fuck it.
Yeah, I think after like Fahrenheit 451, you just said you were going to retake the class anyway, so you stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, no, that's where it was. I also don't even remember what the other class that I took, what the books in that class were either, so...
Dude, fucking today, so we got a Christmas tree today.
I saw.
Which is the first time I've had a Christmas tree since I moved out in like 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the first time. We never had one at the apartment. We never had one here because of cats and dogs and whatever. But we were finally just like, fuck it, we're gonna get a Christmas tree. And so it was funny because at Target today, it ended today or whatever, they had if you bought like $100 of Christmas shit, you got $50 off of it. And
so you get $50 of
we
Christmas
bought
shit.
The Christmas, yeah, $100 value of Christmas shit for $50. So we bought the Christmas tree and we bought a bunch of ornaments and like whatever. And after we were done checking out, when we were outside, Megan's like, dude, she didn't charge us for our Christmas tree. And I was like, yeah, she did. She scanned it. And Megan's like, yeah, but it didn't show up. So I look at the receipt, and sure enough, it wasn't on there. So we got our Christmas tree for free, which granted was only like $60, and it was like 30% off anyway because of whatever sale they had going on. But I added up all the ornaments and all the other shit, and even without the tree, it came to like, it was like $98 and some odd change, almost $99. So I almost got the $100 of Christmas shit, even without the tree, but if I'd gotten one more fucking ornament for like $3, I could have fucking got it and got the tree for free. But I was like, God damn it. But then the kick in the balls was, so we got home and we were setting the fucking Christmas tree up, and it's like 3 sections, like the top, middle, and bottom that you like assemble together, and it has like the built-in lights, even though they're not really built in, they're just kind of pre-clipped onto the tree or whatever. And the third row of lights, half of them weren't working, and I couldn't figure out why. And I saw that like one of the wire on the bottom was like bent. And stuff, like you could see copper, like it was fucked up for some reason. So I stripped it and like redid it together, and it still didn't work. And then I was like, okay, it has to be like half of them work though. So I'm like, it has to be like a light bulb somewhere that's like fucking this up. And it was, and I was trying to fix it, and like I was fucking with it, and then I kind of got it fixed, and then something happened, and it got fucked up again. And I was just like done with it. Like I was just like, dude, I was like, this fucking sucks. And Megan's like, well, it's okay. She's like, we can just go back to Target and return it. And I was like, yeah, we totally could. I'm like, except, I'm like, we would show up there and show them our receipt, and the fucking tree won't be on there. And Megan was sitting there for a minute, and she's like, oh yeah, huh? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, that we can't return it because according to them, we never bought it. So then I was like, God damn it. So then we just ended up unclipping the entire bottom row of lights, went back to fucking Target and bought more Christmas lights, and then just put new lights on the bottom for like $6 worth of Christmas lights to fix it. And then we bought stockings and shit. But we bought enough stuff during the second trip to Target that we got the $50 off again.
You hear that, kids? Crime doesn't pay.
Yeah, I was like, so the TLDR of it is there was a reason why I never had a Christmas tree, and today was proof of that.
Also, don't ever set foot inside a Target.
Yeah, because you're gonna spend 3 figures easy. Look at that Cappy.
I love him.
He's so black and chalant.
And he's a big dum-dum. Oh, he's gone. But, no, that sounds like quite the eventful day.
Yeah, but now it's finally all set up, and I'm just like, it took way longer than I wanted. And then we were fucking house sitting, and we got suckered into setting up some Elf on the Shelf shit for the people who we were house sitting for.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, we had to go to... She sent us a thing of what she wanted us to do with the Elf on the Shelf, and it was like she wanted us to take one of those like paper lanterns and make almost like a hot air balloon thing with the Elf on the Shelf in it.
Oh, that's what you were looking at yesterday.
Yeah, and like with a little banner thing that says like "Welcome Home," and so we went to fucking Michael's or whatever to like try and get like some of the shit. And, like, they didn't have the paper lantern stuff we wanted and, like, whatever. So we ended up going to fucking Party City and got the majority of the shit that we needed. And then, yeah, it took forever because we, like, suspended it from, like, their ceiling and shit. And then did the banner. Like, it was, like, a whole fucking process. And then trying to find, like, tape and stuff in their house and, like, do whatever. And we got these, like, sparkly snowflake things to, like, tape onto the wall. Mm-hmm. And so after struggling to like set up this Elf on the Shelf on the thing and do whatever, I was just like, all right, now it's time for me to have fun. So I went into the garage and they had one of those like little sponge mop things. Mm-hmm. And I took that, and then because the snowflake had glitter stuff on it, like it would kind of stay on the sponge thing. Mm-hmm. So we took tape, put it on the one end of it, and like their house is like 2 stories and super tall. So using the sponge thing, I like stuck snowflake like so far in the middle of the second floor that it's like impossible to reach. So, I'm like, they're gonna have fun trying to get that down. And then I did another one that was like so tall that they're probably gonna need a ladder and like something else to try and like scrape it off their wall. Like,
God damn it.
I was like, that was like the best part of doing that, was knowing that they're gonna have to try to get that down at some point.
Justin Carter, a neighbor extraordinaire.
Bitch, you know it. Did you hang out with Serge today?
Yeah, I did. We went and got canes, and then we played Smash Brothers.
And then he gave you the best over-the-pants hand job that you've ever received.
Well, not on the first date, Justin.
Oh. You're like, we're going steady and taking it slow.
He's gotta beat me at least 5 more times.
He has to 3-stock me.
I mean, that happened. Because just at a certain point, whenever you're just playing fighting games for a long period of time, at a certain point, you're just like, I know my skill level, like, it starts, like, at a decent level, and then eventually it's just like, well, this is just going downhill, and there's no place to go but down, so...
Oh, man. I was like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Surge beat your ass.
Let's see. We were doing pretty good. He was winning a good majority of the time, but I got a few good wins in with Ridley and with Bowser, because like at a certain point I was just like, fuck it, I don't care. I'll just pick some other character. I'm like, hey, I haven't played Bowser in a while, and I was winning pretty consistently. I'm like, oh, this is pretty great.
You're like reliable.
Yeah, he was like playing. He started to play Toon Link a little bit as his secondary, and I was like, well, I'll just play some Bowser for a bit. And I started winning quite a bit with Bowser against this Toon Link, and he's like, okay, well, now I've got to go bust out with Pikachu.
He's like, alright, my reputation's going south pretty quick here.
And it is pretty great, because Bowser's got a good amount of super armor, so Surge relies a lot on the fact that Pikachu has a lot of disjointed hitboxes. So with Bowser, it doesn't fucking matter, because it's like, sure, I'll take the smash attack, but I'm also going to hit you in the face.
You're like, I don't mind if I do.
And it only takes a few hits from Bowser to like send Pikachu flying. But what other stuff was I doing? I was playing as Jigglypuff, and it's been a while since I played Puff. And I played Hero for the first time, and also Joker for the first time.
I like Joker. I was like, Hero, I remember trying, and I thought Hero was just okay. But I really liked playing as Joker.
Hero's got some jank-ass bullshit whenever it comes to his down B, and it's just like, well... let me just press down B and see what I get. And most of the time it's something good.
Roll the dice.
But no, it was a fun time. I need to hang out with my friends more. And not, I don't know, just get out more, I guess.
Quit being a little hermit.
Dude, stop working on the card game at all hours of the day. Honestly, I haven't been working on the card game for like the last couple of weeks. Like, since the tournament build where I was like really dedicating a lot of time to it, I've kind of been like taking a little bit of time off just to kind of reconfigure my brain and not just be a workaholic all the time. I'm sure you can understand that's basically what you were like between IndieCade and Portland.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm like here for a week, gone for a week, here for a week. I'm like, there's no point in trying to dive into something when I'm just gonna have to leave again. And then
Surge
holiday shit.
Surge was like, when am I getting a new build?
Of course he was. Like, he's going to get it. Like, I was gonna work on it today until like the fucking Elf on the Shelf and Christmas tree thing literally took all goddamn day. Like, before the podcast, we literally just got done with the Christmas tree shit. So it was like, since like 8 o'clock this morning until fucking 6, we were out running around doing all this bullshit. And then I'm sad because now I have to go back to work again after my 4-day weekend.
Yeah, it barely felt like a 4-day weekend. Like, last night we did some stuff, and I barely got back in town until like 2 yesterday, and today has been a complete wash. I didn't even have a hangover from last night. It's just been like, there hasn't been a lot that happened today. So...
Did you watch the new episode of Mandalorian?
I have not watched it yet at all.
Oh, we watched it today. It was pretty good.
Well, I'll get around to it. It's just I haven't watched it yet. It's been really, really good though. Like, the last episode with him going in and getting the baby back was really great.
Went all John Wick on their ass.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, they're stormtroopers, so I mean, it's not much of a fight, but I mean, he hit somebody.
Are you up? I don't know if a new episode. I'm sure a new episode came out Saturday, but I was like, have you been watching My Hero and Food Wars?
I'm so far behind on My Hero. I try to watch it whenever me and Jess can watch it, so neither one of us are like lagging behind. But My Hero, I'm probably at least 4 episodes behind at this point. Food Wars, I don't know if we're up to date. I don't think we are. Because the last episode was, I think, the one where Soma won with.
Okay.
What was the dish he made?
Like,
Because I know they did the pizza, and then Soma's dish was next, and it complemented that dish in some way, and I can't remember exactly what he made, now that I think about it. God damn it.
Fuck. Are you looking it up? Because, yeah, I don't remember what the fuck it was that he made either. It was... I don't even remember what the ingredient was that he had to use.
Was it butter? It wasn't butter, was it? It was butter.
It was butter, yeah.
He made something weird. This is riveting television for all y'all listeners.
Are you just watching the episode?
No. I'm just trying to find it.
You just put on the episode, you're like, give me like 15 minutes.
Just a solid 15 minutes. I'll have it, you guys. I promise. I promise everything will be good.
But like nobody gives a shit about what Soma made.
Nobody gives a shit about Food Wars but you and me.
It's so good though.
It is really good.
And I'm like sad that this is the last season, but also happy because I'd rather it go out on a high note than like turn into like One Piece and go on forever.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Bleach.
Or that. I'm like, that's probably a better comparison since Bleach is also over, but should have been over long before it was over. Or Inuyasha. I guess Inuyasha goes without saying too. That.
Well, I've never watched any of those, so...
Oh, man. Like, I really do like early Inuyasha. Like, I thought Inuyasha was good up to, like, season, like, 4 or something. And then after they got all the jewel shards, and then it, like, reshattered again, I was like, nope. I'm like, I'm done.
God damn it.
Just like Bleach fought the fucking... Ichigo fought Aizen, the main villain, killed him, used up all his spirit power or whatever, and it's like, alright, yeah, that's the end. And then they're like, well, what if there was a way to tell you that you could get all your powers back plus more? And I'm like, nope. I'm like, I'm done. Like, oh yeah, and Aizen's not dead. And I'm like, nope. I'm like, I'm done.
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to watch some more just stuff being just dragged out?
Nope. I quit reading it and watching it after that point, and I was just done. I was like,
man, I'm dead set on figuring out what the fuck was made. I watched the episode and everything.
So did I. I don't remember what it was either. But you're right. The ingredient was butter. I remember that much. But what's even funnier is you're like looking up all this shit, but you're right. That's not even the newest episode. Like that was, I think, an episode behind the newest one because God Tongue Girl is cooking in the new one.
Yeah, that's basically the episode that we left off on, but we didn't get to actually see what happened.
Yeah.
All right, I give up, guys. I failed everyone.
Well. All right, it's been a good podcast, everybody.
Pack it in.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry to disappoint all our 5 listeners that Matt couldn't figure out what Soma made in the last episode of Food Wars.
It's okay. I deliberately didn't remember, so that way I'm not spoiling it for any of you viewers out there. But other than that, like, it's really just been card game stuff for me. I haven't had a chance to, like, watch a whole lot of anything or really play any games or anything like that. I did get my business partner PJ into watching My Hero in exchange for watching Dragon Prince, which is by the people who did Avatar.
Oh.
But I mean, it's an all right, like, general fantasy type animated series. It's the only thing that I really hate about the series is it's got this really juddery, like, animation style, where it feels like it's animated, like, off frame for whatever reason, and it's just so weird. It feels like people jump around in terms of, like, their motion. It's not smooth or anything.
Dude, I was like, speaking of jittery animation, the people we were house sitting, I was like looking at their DVD shelf and stuff. And I saw that they had 3 of the 4 seasons of home movies on DVD.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, oh man, I was like, people after my own heart. And I was like, I didn't know who was the home movies fan, but I think it was Jen, the wife or whoever that we're house sitting for. But as we were leaving today, they have like near the front door, they have kind of like I guess like a room with like a TV or whatever, to like play video games or watch movies or whatever, like a little movie room thing. And I saw something on the wall and I stopped and I went in there and Megan's like, "What are you doing? Like, quit looking at all their shit." And I was like, "Hold on, he has something on the wall I wanted to look at." And it was like this giant board thing that was like, I guess they went to, I think it was San Diego Comic-Con or just one of the Comic-Cons. And it was like, like a board with like, it had their badges and like a bunch of different shit from Comic-Con. But one of the things they had was
it a wall scroll of some waifu?
Yeah. And boy, did she have massive knockers.
Well, I imagine so.
Yeah. But no, it was
otherwise you'd have to call the FBI.
I wouldn't.
Oh.
But no, it was a fucking poster for season 1 of Home Movies, and it was signed by Brennan Smalls.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it had Jen's name on it. It said Jen, like, and then it had some message, and it said Brennan Smalls. And I was so fucking jealous. Like, I wanted to fucking steal that and just cross her name out and write Justin.
Jesus. Like, imagine that there's actually people besides you and me who like home movies.
I know. I was like, that's why I'm so surprised. Like, out of, like, the old-ass Adult Swim shows, that was kind of, like, one of the sleeper ones that, like, I don't felt like got a lot of attention, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force or, like, C-Lab did.
Well, I definitely like home movies better than those other 2 that you just mentioned.
See, I don't know. I love Aqua Teen, but home movies is a special place in my heart because I love fucking Coach McGurk and Jason.
You just have a special place in your heart for episodes that are disappointing.
Yeah.
Which is why Moral Oral is like the golden grail.
Dude, Moral Oral's great because it takes like every message from like Christianity and pushes it to the absolute limit of you could totally see someone who's like, oh, this is what God said, I need to do this to the fullest, and just take it in an absolutely like wrong direction.
Definitely. It's also just horribly, cripplingly depressing.
My favorite.
Speaking of, I think I've still got to finish one more episode of BoJack. for this season.
See, I haven't seen any of the new season yet. I still need to watch it.
Oh boy, Justin Carter. Oh boy. It's very good.
I'm sure. I'm so excited to watch it. I just haven't. I was like, of stuff that I know you've watched, though, so I do need to continue watching it, but I watched the first episode of Promised Neverland.
Oh, shit. And?
It's so fucking good. It was like, the first maybe like 12 minutes or whatever, like 15 minutes of the episode, I'm like, all right, like, I don't really know what's going on. I was like, this is okay. Like, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. And then they find the fucking dead girl in the back of the truck, and I'm like, oh. And then you realize that the orphanage is just like a human farm for like demons, and I'm like, oh. Like, that's good.
What a twist.
And then at the end, their mother or whatever, like, was holding the stuffed rabbit, and she looked all fucking crazy, and I'm like, okay. I'm in. Like, you got me.
Oh, it gets so good, Justin. It gets like Death Note levels of like trying to outwit each other, and you're gonna love it.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping so, because, yeah, that one kid with the gray hair or whatever is, like, the mastermind fucking kid.
Yeah. It is so good, and they have a season 2, so...
What?
Yeah, there's going to be a season 2 when it comes out.
It's not out yet, okay.
No, season 2 is going to be out sometime this next year, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Well, then, yeah, I'll definitely be up to date on it then before that happens.
Well, you'll have to tell me all about the twists and turns as they come up.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I watched it, like, at work on Wednesday, and I was like, oh, man, I'm going to definitely continue watching this.
Definitely. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's out. Like, I mean, I know both of us have a ridiculous backlog of anime, but I can't think of any TV shows. Apparently Rick and Morty's out, but I haven't watched any of it, so...
It's been good.
Well, I need to get a legal way of watching Cartoon Network, so I can definitely watch it legally.
Or, if you want... on my Google Drive, I can just throw up the episodes as I download them, and you can just download them and watch them.
I definitely wouldn't do that, Justin Carter. That's illegal. Wink.
I was like, alright, I definitely, after the podcast, won't upload the episodes I have of Rick and Morty onto a Google Drive for you.
Alright, I definitely won't watch them. I will pay my local cable provider $72 to watch the one channel I want to watch.
Wink.
But, I don't know what else.
I picked up for Black Friday. For Black Friday, we went out to Target, and we went in, got the games I wanted, got what we're getting Killian for Christmas, and got out in a total of 13 minutes.
Yeah, I find that very hard to believe, but, I mean, I guess the less time you're in there, the better.
Yeah, I was like, it's because the Target that we go to is the one that I used to work at out in BFE Scottsdale, and, like, there's just not a lot of people that go there, but the people that do go there aren't particularly interested in the video games and stuff. They more want TVs, iPads, Apple Watches, whatever. So it's like I can just get in, grab the video games I want, and then get out really quickly because they have everyone's on registers. So
what all did you pick up?
I got Borderlands 3, I got Resident Evil 2, and then I got Mario Power Tennis.
Nice. I've been wanting to play Power Tennis for a while, so I guess we could play that now.
Yeah, I was like, I've been playing through the story mode and stuff, and surprisingly, dude, some of that shit's fucking hard.
I mean,
Like,
I'm honestly not surprised by that, because actually most of the Mario Tennis like story modes are actually kind of hard.
yeah, there was like a couple things where it's like fighting a boss or something. Like, I like almost had it because your racket can fucking break, and if your racket breaks, then you lose automatically. And later on, I don't think that's as bad because like once you get more rackets, then like if one racket breaks, it just defaults to the next one. But
Hmm.
in the very beginning, when you only have one racket, it's as soon as that one fucking breaks, it's over.
I gotcha.
So like some of the bosses and stuff, it's like I'd almost have them dead, and then they'd do a power shot or something, and I'd hit it to like block it too early or something, and it fucking like shatter my racket, and I'd lose, and I'm like, God damn it!
Speaking of Nintendo games, did you pick up Pokemon? I didn't, but I figured I'd ask if you did. I know you were looking to get it.
So I want it so fucking bad, and my mom got me both Sword and Shield for Christmas. So it's like I have them, I just don't have them yet. So I have to fucking wait until she decides to give them to me for me to play them.
See, my family got super bad about doing that exact thing. For a while there, that was like, hey, tell me exactly what you want, and then it's like, oh, okay, and then I just wait for Christmas to actually get it. And like over the last few years, whenever we're not traveling, this year we're traveling out to Disney World, but in the years that where we actually do have like a gift exchange type Christmas, I'm like, well, here's the list of things I kind of want, or here's a generic suggestion of what I want. Do not tell me what the fuck I'm gonna get. I don't want to know what I'm getting. Please don't tell me what I'm getting. And I'm not gonna tell you verbatim what I want, because I want surprises on Christmas.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like that's what kind of pissed me off about like with Megan's family this year. I mean, we did this the other years too, where we do like the Secret Santa thing and stuff, where we each draw a person or whatever, and then get
Mm-hmm.
something for one of the people. But it's like, always ask like, oh, like what do you want for Christmas? Like, and they give you kind of like an idea or whatever, and like Megan's mom, I think, got Megan this year or whatever, so she's getting her makeup and stuff. But it's like there's Megan gets makeup fucking like every week in the mail from like Beautylish and like whatever. So like she has to be very specific about like, oh well, I don't have these palettes, but I have these palettes, and like so it's like she already knows basically like what she's getting from her. And I ended up getting Dave, and I'm like, oh, what do you want? And he's like, shoes. And I'm like, that's not something that you buy someone as a fucking, like, maybe for your kid or like a spouse, you would
Yeah.
get them shoes or something. But it's like, as like a random person, like, I'm like, one, I don't know what fucking shoes you want. And two, it's like, I don't know your foot size. I don't, like, if you don't, that's not like, oh, surprise shoes. And then you're like, thanks, I hate them. Like, that's something that you pick out yourself. So I'm like, I'm not buying you fucking shoes for Christmas. So I'm just going to end up getting him like a fucking Visa gift card so he could buy his own shoes. But it's one of those things where it's just like, then we might as well just all get each other gift cards. And
Or
then,
not even getting each other anything, because we're just trading money.
yeah, I know. So I'm just like, that's like what pisses me off is because I'm just like, I was gonna just get him like a bunch of Fallout shit because he likes Fallout, and Megan's like, just get him the gift card for like shoes, and I'm like, I know, I'm like, dude, it's like shitty, but it's like I know it's what he wants. I'm just like whatever, like yeah, or it's just yeah, I'm like, here's money, get whatever you want. Merry Christmas.
I just it grinds on me so much, because I really do like Christmas. I like Christmas a lot, and I sadly have been too poor to buy any gifts for people these last few years. But I do love going out shopping for Christmas gifts for people, and like figuring out something meaningful for people I actually care about, instead of Like, oh, well, here's a gift card.
Exactly. And then, like, my parents don't want anything, and that they're, like, the hardest fucking people to shop for. Because it's, like, all my mom wants is books, but it's, like, the books she really wants, she, like, buys them the day they come out. So I'm like, okay. And then my dad, like, is fucking hard as fuck because he'll never tell you what the fuck he wants. So it's, like, he always just, by default, gets, like, a Lowe's gift card. Like, and it's, like, you can buy tools or whatever the fuck you want, I guess.
I'm trying to think who's incredibly hard to shop for on my end. Like, my brother's really hard to shop for, but I normally just find something Star Wars related to get him because I'm like, here, love the thing you actually love and be proud of it. Tyler's also kind of hard to shop for in a weird way. Just in the fact that, like, I don't ever want to get Tyler something normal. Like, you can always get something really weird and out there, and it's like, yeah, that's a perfect Tyler gift.
I almost feel like Tyler would just be happy with, like, whatever. Like,
I mean, story of his life, though.
yeah. What was I say? For Killian this year for Christmas, we got him, like,
New parents? Hashtag got him.
God damn. It was so good. Oh man. Stop. No.
Alright, guys, we're just going to be laughing for the next 20 minutes. You can feel free to mute us.
Right, I'm like, skip ahead. No, we got him. He's gone through so many fucking tablets and stuff, and he's like he's a weird fucking kid. Like, it's like weird to me to think of like the stuff I was into when I was like 10 and stuff like that, or kind of
like Legos and Power Rangers and...
Well, like, I remember, because, like, 10 is, like, because I think he's in, like, 6th grade, 5th or 6th grade, and it's, like, when I was in 6th grade, like, the hot shit at the time was, like, for me, it was, like, Yu-Gi-Oh!,
yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, Bionicle.
Yeah, all of those things.
Yeah, Digimon was still, like, I think relevant.
I don't think so. I think the third season ended, like, whenever we were, like, 9, I want to say.
Maybe. I remember bawling my eyes out at the end of season 1.
Give me 2 seconds. We're going to search for more things.
I'm trying to think what else. Flaming Hot Cheetos were, like, a thing.
See, I've never given a shit about Flaming Hot Cheetos, ever. Like, I don't like the spicy chips. And... with Jess doing teaching, that is all the kids care about. Like, they just care about Takis, and that's the only thing they love.
See, I don't even give a shit about Takis, but I do like Flaming Hot Cheetos. But I don't like Flaming Hot Funyuns or, like, any of the other Flaming Hot shit, just Cheetos.
Side note, it came out the last season, the season 3 of Digimon, which I consider to be the last good season, maybe. It came out in 2001. So we were 11.
Okay. So then Digimon was still relevant then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what is he into then?
Oh, yeah, he's like, because that's the thing is he doesn't really play with, like, toys, or, like, he's part of this, like, generation of, like, they grew up, like, with phones, with whatever. So, he plays, like, Minecraft and, like, other shit, but he's, like, into, like, as a kid, like, earlier years for Christmas and stuff, like, they would get him, like, padlocks and flashlights and what other sort of weird shit, like, power tools and shit, like, yeah, like, the one Christmas morning, he was, like, unhinging a fucking door with, like, a drill. Like, that's, like, the kind of, like, weird, that's what I mean, like, weird shit, as in, like, he was never really into, like, toys or, like, Legos or anything. He was always just into, like, weird, like, hacking shit, like, taking shit apart, like, whatever. So this year for Christmas, we got him a tablet, but what it is it's a tablet that you actually put together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like it's in pieces, and you actually, it has like a battery pack, like everything. So you actually assemble everything together into a working tablet, and then once it's a working tablet, it actually teaches you programming and like Minecraft mods and different shit. So it's like an introduction to programming to kids, and like it's something that's meant to be taken apart and put back together and shit. So I'm like, perfect.
Surely there's no way this child can break this.
Yeah, and we got the 2-year warranty on it, so even if he does break it, they were like, "You want the 2-year warranty for $20?" And I'm like, "You bet your ass I do."
Fucking smart. The only time that you'll ever not turn down the warranty.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh yeah, no." I'm like, "I'm gonna want the fucking warranty for this."
You go to fucking GameStop and they're like, "You want us to insure this game for like $5?" And I'm like, "No, why?" Apparently, it's just for parents who have children.
Yeah, because I'm sure PJ will tell you that they probably destroy everything.
Well, they do, and that's why he only gets digital stuff now.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, I pretty much only get digital stuff now too, besides like Pokemon's not going to be digital, but it's because my fucking parents bought it for me, like, and Mario Power Tennis I didn't get digital, but it's only because Black Friday the physical version was $30, where on the eShop for Black Friday it was like $40.
Because
So,
Nintendo games last forever and they are always expensive.
seriously, I'm like, god damn. Dude, I remember when fucking GameStop was going out of business, not out of business, when they were going to quit carrying like the GameCube, PS2, like those era of games, they were going to quit selling them. So they had to, like, they were getting rid of like all their inventory of all the shit, and I picked up used fucking Mario Kart Double Dash, and that shit was still fucking like $45, like, on the like at this point, like, I think the fucking Wii U was out, and I'm paying like $45, which is almost like brand new fucking prices. I think Nintendo games like were $50. Like,
Yeah, on the GameCube they were. They were
yeah,
they were $50, so you saved a whole $5 on a used game
I
that
know,
they were gonna stop carrying.
but I was like, if I go right now on the fucking Amazon and look up Mario Kart Double Dash after I get hair off my fucking phone, I was like, let's see, how much is it now? Because Nintendo games don't fucking ever. Let's see here. Looks like renewed. What the fuck does that even mean? Looks like $90.
That sounds about right. Basically, you have your Nintendo games that, like, while the console is still being sold places, you have it going down by like $5 or $10 if you're lucky. And then the variants that Nintendo and like GameStop stop carrying in any sort of regard, they go up like all the way to $100 or more. Like, I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver is like $150 or something.
Well, yeah, I just looked up Mario Sunshine is $90. And I remember, dude, when I worked at Target, this one dude was trying to buy my copy of Melee, and he's like, dude, I'll give you $50 for Melee. And I was like, yeah, you're funny. Like, I'm like, I don't think so.
I'll totally sell it to you for $90.
Yeah, I was like, that's more what it's worth. I was like, especially because there's like 0 scratches on that disc, and it's still played to this day, hardcore. Like, yeah, dude, a copy of fucking Melee is used is $109.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Like, the Melee scene is still pretty popular, and that's the reason why you can't get a hold of GameCube controllers to save your life.
Right? And then it looks like brand new, it's like $162.
Where would you get a brand new copy of Melee?
I'm assuming it's
Who
just
is-
like an unopened copy.
Well, yeah, but just like, who has been saving this copy of fucking Melee for like, I don't know, it's been like 20 years almost.
Seriously. But
But
I do.
transition.
Oh,
What were you
I
gonna
was gonna
say?
say. All I was gonna say was that it probably helps that like, due to like Nintendo not releasing any of the GameCube games digitally, that's probably why there's so much. Like, the price would probably tank if they ever like actually put them up on like the eShop or something where people can actually download them again.
That's entirely possible. I mean, you do also have your collectors out there who still do like to own the actual copy, but you're right, it might drop like maybe 20 or 30 bucks, but I'd imagine that it'd still probably be pretty pricey. Like, I mean, you can get Earthbound a few ways at this point, but even then, like,
Well, yeah,
Earthbound.
Yeah, I don't. I know Google's fucking spazzing out right now. But yeah, I think they'd probably go down some, but what were
Trans.
what were you gonna transition to?
Oh, board games.
Oh,
I
did you get some new ones?
I don't think I got any new ones. I did get. I think the most recent Kickstarter one I got was called Caroso Cruise, and it's essentially like a book, and each one of you takes a role of like one of the people on the ship, and you're like going to different destinations on this island, like an island map, and you're like turning to a certain page, and then each one of your crew members has different things that they can do, so they're turning to different pages to do certain things on each one of the islands. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure, but like 4-player co-op.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, and I went over to my friend Daryl's house and we played Vast, which is a game that I picked up at Gen Con. And the way that game is played is you have like 5 different classes of character you can play. So you could play as the paladin, you could play as the dragon, you could play as the goblins, or you could play as the cave, or you play as like the thief. And the way the game's played is you can swap out any one of the characters and you can play anywhere from like 1 to 5 people. But generally, everyone has their own objectives. So you've got the cave, and they're putting down tiles to kind of make the cave. And then once they run out of tiles, they start collapsing the cave. And as long as they kill like whatever hero or character that's in the cave, they win. You've got the knight who's trying to kill the dragon. The dragon's trying to escape the cave, and all kinds of cool objectives. But I think the first time we sat down to play it, we spent like a solid like 45 minutes each one of, because none of us had played, just reading through our own individual character objectives and rules just to try and figure out what we had to do. And we had to leave because of an emergency, but I just met up with her last Friday and finally got to play the game, and Daryl had the chance to play it like 3 other times before that. And the game's a lot of fun, so hopefully we can get a game night together and play, because getting board game nights together is a nightmare.
Right. I was like, did you ever pick up that Battle Chef Brigade game?
No, not Battle Chef Brigade. You're talking about Restaurant Rivals?
Yeah.
No, I haven't had a chance to, but I would definitely want to. Actually, let me see how much that game is right now. Restaurant Rivals.
See if there's any Black Friday deals on it. Or Cyber Monday.
Buy it
That's
now.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like $60. Whenever I've got some money, I'll probably pick it up. It was a lot of fun last time we played it, so
Yeah,
that'd be a good one. I think I just need to start having them regularly though, so I can actually get through my mountain of games that I haven't had a chance to play.
Dude, that reminds me of there's that game on the PS4. It's almost like a Jackbox game, but it's called That's You.
Mm-hmm.
And you play with your phone, and it's like it asks you different questions, and you all kind of vote like who's the most likely person to, like, I don't know, like catch a beaver like in the woods or something, and then like you all pick someone, and then like if the majority, like if you voted like with the majority or whatever, and the majority wins, then it's like you all get points and stuff. But we were playing with fucking Killian, and this one time, and it was like me, Megan, I think Lucy, her friend, and then Killian. And one of the questions, it was like a picture of like a briefcase or something, and it said like, it was like, oh, like what wouldn't you want TSA to find in this briefcase? And you're supposed to draw something like in the briefcase. And of course, everyone drew like dildos and stuff. But then fucking Killian's comes up, and it's this naked black child in the suitcase. And I'm like, I mean, like brown skin, like red lips, like typical racist, like stereotype of like a black
Holy
child.
shit.
And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And Killian's like, it's a little naked kid. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to find that in a suitcase. Like, I was like, I don't know where the fuck he pulled that out of, but
old Looney Tunes cartoons.
yeah, I was like, Song of the South.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, fucking Troy hasn't done like any. I enjoyed listening to his comic book podcast thing, because it was like, it's like I'm reading comic books, but I'm just listening to Troy explain the comic book in like 20 minutes. And he hasn't posted one recently, so Troy, if you're listening to this, post more of those.
Yeah, definitely do. But if you're like me, you probably have forgotten to read comic books, because I have a billion of them, and I still haven't read any of them.
That is true. I still have a bunch that on my bookshelf that I still haven't read myself.
Yeah, I just finished reading Hickman's X-Men run. I mean, it wasn't recent. It was probably like a month ago that it actually finished up. But not his run, but just like the beginning. Like he had like an event going on where it was just a series of 12 issues, and it was just to kind of establish what his X-Men run was going to be like. And that was nutty as all hell. There was all kinds of just weird stuff that he just decided to just do with the series that like no other writer's done with X-Men in the past. And just, it's not even weird in terms of like, oh, it's completely off the beaten path. It still feels like super loyal to what X-Men is, but also it just being like, I guess it's just a really fresh take on the series, which is nice because X-Men's been stale for a long time.
Dude, I was like, this destroyed me today, hon. Fucking, so, Megan's family came over for Thanksgiving, but Megan's brother, Kale, or Kyle as you like to call him, didn't come over because he went over to his dad's instead, but he fucking hates his dad. But he went over there because he didn't want to, I'm sure, deal with Megan, because every year it's like Megan will like, and him will get into some sort of fight or something. She'll call him stupid, and like he'll be like, fuck you, and storm. Like my favorite was, what was it? We went over to her mom's one time for Super Bowl, I think, or it was Easter or something like that. And for whatever reason, Kale's convinced that, like, Bunny is his dog, even though he had Bunny for a week, and then gave him up to his mom, and then she had him for, like, 2 weeks before we took him. And
I thought you were going to say that he's convinced that the world's flat.
no, I mean, he probably does think that, but no, but, like, the 1 year Easter or whatever, like, he said something, because Bunny's original name was Zeus, but we don't call it, we were like, no, that's fucking stupid, we call him Bunny, but he still calls him Zeus, despite the fact that he's been Bunny for 4 years now. And, like, the 1 year, Megan was like, dude, like, screaming at him, she's like, he's not your dog, you fucking dumbass, like, whatever. And then he was like, fuck you, and then, like, left, and then Megan's grandma cried, and I'm, like, sitting there eating food, like, laughing, because I'm like, dude, this is so good. But no, he posted this on Twitter. So he didn't come over for Thanksgiving, and, like, Megan's mom took pictures of the dogs, and he posted on Twitter and was like, my boop snoot Zeus, and posted pictures that fucking Megan's mom took. And I'm like, he's not your dog. Like, I don't know why you think, like, you don't own him. Like, you never come over and see him. I was like, and to even get those pictures, you didn't even come over at Thanksgiving and take those pictures. Your mom took those pictures and sent them to you. So I'm like, what sort of fucking fantasy world are you living in where that is your dog? Like, it, like, blows me away every fucking time. Like, I'm like, he was never your dog.
I mean, at one point, for a small, limited run of that dog's life.
Yeah, I was like, and considering that, like, Kale had to get 2 separate bank loans to buy the fucking dog, and then Megan ended up paying 60% of the loan to him anyway to pay for Bunny, like, ridiculous. It just gets me every time. I'm like, why do you think that?
That is a lot of family drama, and I'm not surprised.
Right.
Well, on my end, I mean, you've already heard the story, so spoilers, I guess. But over Thanksgiving, I was originally not planning on staying as long as I did up north in Pine Top. So Thanksgiving was fine, but it was snowing, like, incredibly heavy. It was crazy. Like, Thanksgiving night, there was not a single, like, drop of snow on the ground up there. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just leave in the morning once the sun comes up and everything. And my brother decided to leave earlier than that at, like, 7, so that way he could get to his job at 12. But for anyone who keeps up with the weather, that's not the way the weather was whenever it was Black Friday. And there was just so much snow that came down. And my brother, on his way out, he made it, like, to Heber, which is only, like, 45 minutes outside of Pine Top, and got stuck in the snow because it was coming down so hard. And then some nice soul got him out of the snow, and he was heading back, and he decided to call everyone in the family and let them know that he was on his way back, even though we would see him whenever he got there. And he got into a wreck on the way there.
God damn it.
I know, I can't stop coughing.
You're like,
I have no water, and I don't want to get up to get water. That was my first mistake. And so he gets into an accident. I mean, he's okay, but he decides that he needs an ambulance. Like, they decide to take him in an ambulance to go get checked out at the hospital, even though, like, he really just has a bruised knee. So he paid for that ambulance ride and going to the hospital to get checked out for his bruised knee. And my mom and stepdad were so upset that this is what happened. And so they go to pick him up at the hospital, and then after the hospital visit, they stop off at the store, and while they're inside the store, or I don't know the full story, but there was a different tow truck with a different car that it was towing, and the car came off the back of the tow truck and hit my stepdad's truck. So not only was there one car accident, there was 2 car accidents within my family on the day after Thanksgiving, all within like 4 hours of each other.
Your brother's like, Merry Christmas, I got a $3,000 hospital/ambulance bill.
And a $1,000 deductible on a car that I need to get fixed.
Right.
So that's all of that fun stuff that happened. But then, even then, we weren't able to leave because the snow was coming down and all the freeways were shut down. So we couldn't even get out of Pine Top until the following morning. And everyone was ready to leave that Friday. And so we were all hating each other by the end of Friday night because we were like, well, fuck, I want to get the hell out of here.
You're like, see you again next year, you fucks.
I wish, but we're going to see them in fucking Christmas because we're going to be there in Orlando for like a whole week.
Did you go up there for Christmas and your brother gets like flown out by like a fucking helicopter near his hospital?
Because he stubs his toe or something?
Yeah, he trips over the family dog and like falls on that knee again and then gets flown out.
Jesus. But that was a brief summary of my fun holiday adventures.
It was a real hoot.
There weren't even owls involved.
I mean, it was like up north, so I'm sure there was some owls.
I mean, there could have been, I guess. You're right. I mean,
Yeah.
it was kind of a reach.
It was an unknown.
It was a Halo reach.
All right, on that note, we're going to wrap up the podcast. Did you have anything else?
No, not really. Just, I mean, like, I guess you can catch me on Twitter, Matendo21, and then you can find our game on Facebook, at Boss Battle Game, to check out all of the cool things that we're doing.
And you can join the Discord.
Also that.
Yeah, I was like, Matt's been doing a good job at posting on social media and should be a... God, what was the fucking word? I had it. Role model, there we go, for everybody on posting consistently on social media.
Please don't follow my lead on social. I mean, the only reason I post consistently is because I'm getting art consistently now, so...
That's true. And it's beautiful art.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's not my art, but I'll pass it along to Andrew because he doesn't have a social media account.
Which is a crime.
It is.
I bet you he has a deviant art account, though, where the profile picture is like some humanoid fox creature.
I mean, if that was the case, he would be rolling in the money and he would not need our money.
Yeah, like, he'd be yiffing his way through college.
Them furry artists get paid.
He's like, yeah, I'll do that commission. Of a fox humanoid with 6 nipples. Fucking Sonic in a tuxedo.
You're missing the bat wings, and they have one extremely long canine tooth and one that's chipped.
Yeah.
And it's super important.
Yeah. It's all part of the lore.
Well, this has been dragged on way longer than it needed to.
Yeah, I was like, that's gonna wrap up the episode, and before we
don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah. Do that. Smash that thumbs up button and click the bell icon.
Thanks to all of our Patreon supporters.
There is no page.
Their names are gonna show up on screen right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Cue the outro
Cue
music.
Cue it up, baby. 'Cause that's a wrap.